All right, this should be hopefully work. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about oral communications and we're going to talk a little bit about current affairs as well. We have about 42 slides, so I want to get through this quite quickly. All right, so today, okay, so just to let you know a little bit, what's going to happen is that today's the last lesson. All right, lesson 48 for the whole of this year. I just started a couple of lessons. Next year, if you are going to be taking the Sec 1 classes, I would not most probably, I am the English teacher. I'm not physically in Singapore. As you know, I'm in Perth, Australia. However, it's not going to make a difference because it's an online class. All right. So that doesn't really make a difference. But I will be the one teaching every Tuesday at this time slot for the whole of next year, if you're gonna, decide to sign up. So just putting it out there. All right, very quickly, oral communication. I'm going to tell you a little bit difference between what is the difference between a primary, how it is different in a primary and how it is different in a secondary. All right, the first thing is in primary school, you are given a reading aloud passage to read to assess your, what do I say, pronunciation, articulation, and your tone, your stress, and your pauses. But in secondary school, that section is totally removed because in real life, you don't go around reading passages, do you? All right. Do you,
Yeah.
Victoria, in real life, do you go around reading passages to each other?
No.
No. In real life, what we do is conversations, all right, and responses. So that's what the secondary school thing is focused on. In primary school, we have got a stimulus-based conversation where you are given a stimulus and then you ask questions about the theme. However, in secondary school, there is no stimulus-based conversation, rather there's a video clip. All right, so what you do is you have a planned response and a spoken interaction using a video clip. So basically the video clip is like a, Victoria, if I could explain it to you very succinctly, it's like a springboard. You just spring forth for a conversation, all right? So for your planned response, you are given a question and asked for an opinion. So you candidates can make notes on the paper and they can refer during the examination. For example, does exercise appeal to you? Why or why not? Of course, the video is going to be about the exercise, all right? So it's basically a springboard for a deeper conversation. Your spoken interaction is you'll ask two questions and you ask for opinions. Are your views towards exercising shared by your friends? Would you say that people in your country enjoy exercising? So one tip I can give as a teacher who has taught O-levels for the last 10 years, what you need to do is in primary school is a lot about a personal response about what you have said. Secondary school is still that, but you want to extend it to your general knowledge. So you can talk about exercising the import, like don't you just talk about exercise in your country, but if it's me and my examiner asks me, do you think people in your country exercise? I would say that, and I'll compare to people in America. So far, I would say that if you look at the obesity rates in America and the US versus Singapore, you can see a great difference. All right. So I'll relate that back to exercise. So I'm able to stand out from the other students. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
All right. So you want to give a little bit more of a mature response. And it's no longer about what's your favorite subject? What do you like to do when you're free? Nothing of that. All right. So it's going to be about, do you think exercise is necessary? And even if they ask you a very simple question about what do you think about people your age? Think about towards social media. I don't want you to just tell me what people think about social media. I want you to tell me about the effects. I want you to tell me about the effects of it in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Australia, in America. Like I want you to be able to broaden it. Not every student does this, and that's why you're going to stand out. Got that?
Yes.
All right, let's move on. So the focus for today is spoken interaction. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about personal response, the clarity of expression, and this interaction. And why these criterias? Because these are your three criterias for the spoken interaction component. All right. So are you able to give a considered and developed personal response? Are you able to express yourself clearly using appropriate vocabulary, especially vocabulary that is pretty much not thematic, but so okay, I'm going to be very basic here with you. If you're talking about kitchen, all right, if it's a scene about a kitchen or something to do, you're going to be using words like utensils, cutleries, recipes, ingredients. You wouldn't never use these words if you're talking about a sports. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're going to talk about, say, educations, then you're going to talk about exams and stress and subjects and co-curricular activities and about how it grows your mind and you're not going to talk about utensils. Okay. So there are vocabulary that are very specific to certain topics. So you want to use the appropriate vocabulary. And of course, you need to have good pronunciation. All right, for interaction, nobody would want to listen to someone. Victoria, come. Today, we're going to talk about spoken interaction, okay? So next year, Sec 1, you will do this. No one's going to listen to you because I'm not even interested in what I'm saying. Am I right?
Yes.
So if you are not interested in what you are saying, no one's going to be interested in listening to you. But if I'm going to say, all right, Victoria, I know you just finished your PSLE, you just a major exam, but you know what? Next year's, let me give you a glimpse of next year. Next year, oral is going to be a lot different. This shows that I'm interested in what I'm saying. All right. So that is very important that before you can interact, I'm just going a little bit deeper here. Be interested in what you're saying. Only then you can get others to be interested. So engage very actively and make sure you're able to sustain a discussion. All right. I want to highlight the word discussion because in all my 10 years, my students think that they're doing a monologue. Do you know what's a monologue? A one-way street. And do you know what's a dialogue? A two-way street. A dialogue is a conversation. A monologue is I speak, you listen. Right now, it's more of a monologue because I'm teaching you. All right. We haven't gone into a discussion or a conversation yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to look at a few bands, but this is the band that we are aiming for you to get. We want you to give a little bit of a well-considered personal response, something that's coherent and well-developed. What do I mean by coherence? So coherence actually is about, are your ideas logically linked? Are you talking about A, B, C, D? Or are you saying A, B, H, K, L, E, F, Z? Or maybe sometimes you go into 1, 2, 3. You get what I mean? Are your ideas logically linked? All right, that is coherence. All right. Are they developed, or are you just giving me brief statements without any explanation? Are you able to express your ideas clearly using a wide range of well-chosen vocabulary? Do you have good sentence structures? Do you have good pronunciation? All right, there's a missing bracket there. Are you able to engage actively the examiner? And when you talk, are they bored? Or are you able to capture their attention? And I believe, Victoria, that whatever I teach is not just for your IP or your IB or for any of that. I believe that I teach for life skills. So spoken interaction is so important because you are as good as you communicate. You can be a genius, but if you're not able to express that in words to others, no one knows that you're a genius. Did you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
You are, okay, I'm going to repeat this. You are as good as you can communicate. So if you cannot communicate, then no one's ever going to know how good you are. So to me, communication, right, forget about all these exams. To me, communication is a life skill, a skill that everybody needs to know. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a lawyer, if you've whatever profession, if you're a pilot, you're an astronaut, you can be the world's best scientist, or you can just be a cleaner who's equally important in the society. All right. It doesn't matter who you are, but communication is a skill that you need in life. And I feel that all schools kind of bypass that and they focus so much on your writing and reading, which is important, but I may write an excellent essay, but if I can't even share that with someone verbally, I may write a 60-page essay that maybe less than, 1% of the world is going to read it. But if I can communicate that in a 1-minute video on TikTok or Instagram, guess how much people are how greater the impact is going to be when they listen to it. You get what I mean? So it's communication. And I feel a lot of, sometimes schools, sometimes teachers, they kind of bypass that, but I put a lot of emphasis on that. All right, let's move on. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of tips here, and we use this called, and you will see this a lot in secondary schools. Every English teacher, we talk about it. I'm an English teacher, as you can see. We talk about the peel, all right? Some people call it the peel, some people call it the teal. Instead of the point, they'll say the topic sentence. It doesn't matter, but the idea is the same. You need to have a point. You need to explain. You need to elaborate by providing examples. And of course, you need to link. All right.
Uses it too.
Sorry?
My school uses it too. Peel.
Exactly. So pretty familiar, lah. All right. I'm not sure in your primary school which one you used, but which was the one that you used? Do you use the 5 W's and 1 H? Do you use the like and dislike, or do you use interesting pointers? Which one did you use?
The 5W1H.
All right, so you all did the who, what, when, where, why, right? So
Yeah.
these are some things that you can use, called the like and the dislike, the past, present, future, the compare and the contrast, the similarities and the differences, which is pretty much the compare and contrast. So these are some ways. And also you can do interesting pointers, exploring different perspectives or viewpoints, supporting it with evidence and giving an honest response. So different schools have a different approach, okay? There's no such thing as one is a right approach or one is a wrong approach. Think of it as three different knives. It is not the expertise of the knives, but it's the expertise of the user. All right, so it's not your tools, but it's the chef that matters. Does it make sense?
Yes, very much.
All right, perfect. All right, so I'm going to show you this visual. Sorry, there's no, okay, and you can see this boy. Okay, so we can see a boy is picking up litter. So very quick question. Is this something that you've seen this before? How do you feel when you watch this video? Sorry.
Mm, yes, I have seen this before in for example at the beach
Mm-hmm.
when I am, for example, I have actually participated in one of these cleanups before. It's called a beach cleanup. And so I was I volunteered. I saw an poster online and it was about a beach cleanup. I think it was around the school holidays. And since I had much time on my hands, I decided to, instead of laze around all day or sleep in, I decided to do something productive so that I can spend my holidays meaningfully. For example, I signed up and volunteered. So on the day itself, we brought gloves and plastic bags to the beach, and to my surprise, it was littered everywhere, and I was disgusted and astonished by the irresponsibility of the citizens. As citizens of our own country, we should keep our country clean. That our kids will have a better life on Earth, instead of an earth where everywhere is filled with rubbish and there's the stench of something disgusting in the air. Instead they will be able to breathe in fresh air that's healthy and clean for them. So um after afternoons of hard work, my plastic bag was piled up with trash of all kinds, like McDonald's paper bags, water bottles, plastic water bottles, plus metal cans like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and also styrofoam cups of leftover Milo or orange juice from the nearby hawker center. So I was extremely proud of ourselves as our team was able to pick up a lot of trash, and we were glad that after days of hard work, the beach was very clean and the water was sparkling like never before. So we were very proud of ourselves, and we headed home with a um with a happy heart and knowing that we have just contributed to the community and helped to keep our earth clean.
I thank you, Victoria. I think that was a very well-crafted response, with very good use of vocabulary as well. And since it was a very personal response, it's something that no other person would have shared because it's something that you did. All right. And I like your use of vocabularies, astonished, and I like the fact that how you brought in a little bit about how like it is something, it is a personal responsibility, but however they didn't do it. And I think it's very good response. How you could have made it a little better. This is just let me just stop share. This is just my personal feedback. You could have just made it a tad bit more, a little bit more mature, which it was very mature. All right, and say that even though I mean, this is like giving you a balanced view and say, as much as I love the beach cleanup and we did that, and